survivalism. Normally, I don't talk about religion or politics, but at this point in time, if people haven't begun to realize that there's a potential out there, and that potential is for a civil war. And people can more or less relate to earthquake, volcano eruptions, an asteroid, that kind of thing, as being a disaster. But the potential for a civil war and the results of a civil war are every bit as much a survival situation as any natural disaster. And in some cases, it's going to be even a little more. Gas and stick them aside. You should even think about getting your hands on candles, lanterns, and not battery operated lanterns, gas lantern, Coleman gas lantern, or kerosene lanterns. But you have to sit down and start thinking about this, because if you got a problem with shooting in the streets, you're going to have a problem just getting to a store to buy food. And there may not be any food in the store to start with, because a lot of these truckers are not going to want to, drive through the streets while there's shooting going on to deliver food. Remember the toilet paper crisis we had, and it wasn't a problem. Hang on, I got to answer this.
Hello? Can you hear me? Hear me now.
It wasn't a problem. It's not a problem that people are going to be able to predict. You may be able to drive through one city without any problems and go to another city and wind up in the middle of a conflict. So you should think of this as a survival situation, more so than anything else, because you don't really have a clear idea of what kind of problems a civil war is going to bring up. You might be able to get toilet paper, but you can't get food. You might be able to get gasoline.
Harvey, hold on a minute. So Harvey, I am helping Harvey do a survival series on the American survival with Harvey Tallman. He is an expert survivalist. And so he can't see what's going on here behind the screens. And right now he's just giving information. So we welcome you all in if you'd like to sit and listen. And then when he's finished, if you have any questions or anything like that, then we will be happy to answer them. So I just wanted to let you know that we have it looks like Andreu Barrios is on, and we have I'm sorry if I chop up your name. So hello, Easton Creel. Thank you for joining us. We're going to go ahead and give Harvey the stage and let him continue with what he was saying. And then if you have any questions, we'll go ahead and answer those at the end. But I'm not going to interrupt him to say hi. So just know that you guys are all welcome. We look forward to having you and sharing this time with you. So go ahead, Harvey. We'll let you have the stage again.
So like I was saying, you're going to have to sit down and think about this and start putting stuff away, even if you do it, say 1 can of soup a week and 1 box of spaghetti a week, that kind of thing, instead of going out and, buying hundreds or thousands of dollars worth of food all at once. But start stocking up on things that you're going to need if delivery stops. You can't be over dependent on the government. That's the one thing you don't want to be. You're not going to wind up getting what you need, and you might not be able to get it unless you give up your problems, your freedom. You with the
Your freedom of everything, your freedom to shop, your freedom to go to and fro, your freedom to.
Well, I mean, what I'm trying to get at here is refugee centers.
FEMA camps.
If you're going to go to a government refugee center, they're apt to turn around and tell you, oh, we can't give you anything until you give us your guns, or we can't give you anything until you pay for the services. This kind of thing. Without your gun and ammunition, you're going to be in serious trouble if they're shooting in the street, outside your house. Not that the government is going to come and kick your door in, but gangs of people who are looking for food and medical supplies who can't get it are going to become a reality, and they're going to be just as deadly as any army that's going to show up on your doorstep. So you need to be prepared. And as I have said in the past with my series that I've already put out, you have to be stockpiled, and you have to stockpile food, medical supplies, and what have you, so you don't have a shortage, and you can't resupply. It's going to be interesting because the question here is, what is the government going to do about shooting in the streets? If they start cracking down and go to martial law.
Andrew Barrios had said he almost got kicked out of his apartment and didn't have anywhere to go. The gentleman on here said he almost got kicked out of his apartment and didn't have anywhere to go.
Who was that?
One of the followers. So what would you do in that type of situation?
I didn't hear you all the way.
Okay, so this gentleman on your live feed said that he almost got kicked out of his apartment and he didn't have anywhere to go. What would somebody like that do in that situation, in that tumultuous time that you're speaking of for survival?
To be quite honest with you, if you're not prepared to survive without being prepared ahead of time, you're going to have to rely on the good old hunting, fishing,
Living in a tent?
You're going to have to learn how to live without modern conveniences. And that's what survivalism is. My idea behind survivalism isn't that you're going to have a year or 2 years worth of food and medical supplies and all of this. What you are going to have to do is you're going to have to use that as a means of making a transition from living in a house with all the modern conveniences to the transition of going from, the year 2026 to 1850. And if you're not prepared to do that, I don't know what to tell you. I guess you have to commit suicide.
Or go to one of the FEMA camps.
Hmm?
Or go to a refugee camp.
Oh, yeah, you want to go to a refugee camp, but don't think that the refugee camp is going to solve all your problems. If you don't have a
Thanks, God's Army.
good, if you're not in good health, that's the one place you don't want to go. If you're not capable of taking care of yourself, the whole thing is somebody's not going to come through one day a week and they're going to give you a shower, or they're going to monitor your health, this kind of thing, because they're not prepared to how to put it, they're not going to be prepared to take care of something like diabetes on a long-term scale. Same thing with a heart problem. Same thing with a kidney or liver problem. They're not going to be able to diagnose the problem and then put you on long-term health care.
God's Army.
Facilities.
God's Army said, faith is the substance to get you through what is coming. Only faith and obedience will protect you and see you through it.
Faith in what?
Obedience. Obedience in God. Obedience in the power of the Holy Spirit. God says He will provide all things: water, earth, air, rent, whatever it be at that time. So thank you for chiming in on that, guys. Appreciate your participation.
Well, all I got to say is when it comes to push comes to shove, take a look at who's pushing you and who's shoving you. Because if you don't have the means to protect yourself, if you don't have the skill to protect yourself, keep yourself warm, and keep yourself fed, you're not going to make it. It could get as serious as cannibalism, and could be as serious as stealing food from somebody else to keep you alive, to keep you fed. It's not a situation where you're going to, today is fine, tomorrow the Civil War starts. You're not going to make that transition that fast. You're going to need a year's worth of food, supplies, that kind of thing, to slowly transition into it. Can you cook food over an open fire? Believe it or not.
Do you know how to start a fire? Because there's no electricity.
Well, yeah.
That's my thing, is I don't know if I could start a fire without a lighter or a match.
Well, you can.
Well, I know you can. I know it can be done. I don't know how, is what I'm saying. I don't know how.
You have to start learning.
Yes, that's what I'm here for.
Being a survivalist is reinventing the wheel every day. You need to be able to figure out how to start a fire. You have to figure out how to cook over a fire. These people who think you're going to take a stick and stick it in a fish and hold it over a fire. I've done that. I'd rather be dead. How do you cook a fish in a fire, an open fire? Basically, you get a flat stone, you make a mud pie, you line the mud pie with green leaves, put the fish on the mud pie, put green leaves over it, put another mud pie on top of that, and then push it into the fire, put coals over it, give it about a half or 3/4 of an hour, and you have a steamed fish. And it's very good. It's as good as anything you're going to make on your own stove in your oven, and that's just one way of cooking over an open fire. Are you going to make, how are you going to cook a chicken? How are you going to cook a piece of meat? How would you cook a rabbit? Do you have a shotgun or a .22 rifle or whatever so you can go kill a rabbit and eat it? These people who go squirrel hunting with a 12 gauge shotgun, and I just kind of shake my head and go, why don't you get a 105 howitzer to shoot the fly on the screen on your window? I mean, it's ridiculous. You've got to learn this stuff. And if you're going to put your faith in anything but your own ability, you're going to die. Because nobody's going to come and rescue you. Nobody's going to save you. Nobody's going to give you anything unless they can get something out of you. And that is that's the whole
Cold hard truth.
If you don't present, if you don't how to put this, if you don't give somebody a reason to have you around, they're not going to feed, house, and clothe you to have you around. They're going to either want to put a uniform on you and have you go out and shoot their enemies, or work in the field, growing food, that kind of thing. If that's what you want to do, fine, then let somebody take care of you and forget about everything I've said. Otherwise, learn how to grow your own food, learn how to hunt, learn the particulars of hunting, learn the particulars of growing food, and you should do pretty good. You probably shed 25 pounds, but then again, just about every American alive today has to shed 25 pounds. Are you going to be able to keep yourself warm? Just building a fire. What you don't realize is a lot of people actually freeze to death sitting next to a fire because you're warm on one side and you're cold on the other. As stupid as that sounds, as simple as that sounds, the way to solve that problem is to build two fires and sit between them. But does anybody ever think about that? Does anybody ever do anything like that? How about taking a bath? Have you figured out what you're going to do when you're crawling with lice and fleas and ticks and you haven't had a bath in 6 months? Well, the nearest stream or lake or pond and a couple of handfuls of of sand, dirt, and you use the dirt in the place of a washcloth and soap, and it will actually clean. It'll clean you, clean your skin. I'll bring this up. I really don't want to get at this point too much into this, but let's say we go back 80,000 years ago, when we know absolutely that the first the first modern humans appeared. How do you think they kept clean? How do you think they kept warm, and how do you think they hunted? There's a lot of things out there.
Big Easy says water.
Pardon?
Big Easy says water.
Water. Well, okay. Water is a great thing if you can find it. It's clean. Springs, that kind of thing. Just because you're drinking water out of what looks like a clean stream doesn't mean the water's clean. Is it geodesic? If there's a dam upstream.
Giardia? Is that what that is? Like Giardia?
Pardon?
Is geodesic like Giardia?
Is like what?
Giardia?
I don't know what that is.
Oh, it's like it's a disease that you get from, or an illness bacteria that you get from unclean water.
Well, that's what I was getting into. If there's a beaver dam upstream, you're going to come down with, I think it's geodesic, and that's a result of drinking water that beavers live in.
Mm.
What do?
Yeah.
They pee and poop in the water.
Yeah.
And then you drink it.
Oh.
Why was coffee and tea invented? Why would you go out and grow coffee and then you roast it and then you grind it and then you drink it? Well, that's because they boiled the water. And you boil the water and you kill off the bugs that are in the water. It's not going to do anything about the chemicals. If the water is got arsenic in it, that's not going to help. But if you do have anything in the water, in particular from septic tanks or sewers leaking into the water, that's going to kill the bacteria in the water, and then you can drink it. Now there's this 15 minutes you got to boil water to make it safe to drink.
Dana Hicks says egg and cheese.
What about it?
What about egg and cheese? And then Dana Hicks also says the most recent example was in February, where I got the news from my mother and my father, and they told us to stop. I'm a bigger girl. I don't like that. Says I don't like and we. So I don't know what she's meaning.
I don't understand.
But she just said egg and cheese. What do you mean by egg and cheese, Dana? Sorry, it's not making a whole lot of sense, Dana.
Egg and cheese,
No, not cheese. Chi, as in like chai tea.
tea.
Yeah, like chai, CHI. Is that what you're talking about?
Tea that you drink.
This is the first thing that you do to. Yes, chi that you drink.
What about it?
That's what they use in water to help purify it. Is that right, Dana? Is that what you're meaning?
You purify the water by boiling it.
Right, and making chi out of it.
Right. Same thing with coffee. And who wants to sit down to dinner with a cup of boiling water? So you flavor it. That's all it is flavored. There is no nutrition.
Yes, he says, or she.
There's no nutrition
Can't
really in tea or coffee. And cheese, cheese is nothing more than a means of taking milk and turning it into a substance which will store on the shelf for 2, 3, 4 years. And then you can eat it. Think about it. You go back 500 years ago, and what did you do with your milk? If you had a cow and it gave you 2 gallons of milk a day, if you didn't drink all the milk and you didn't sell all the milk or trade it or give it away, you dumped it. So there had to be a situation to come along to preserve the milk. Henceforth, cheese.
Justin McGee said, made cheese.
Huh?
Made cheese, Justin McGee.
I
He just commented, made cheese.
make cheese.
Yes, made cheese. That's it. They're just commenting, Harvey.
Oh. Well, you got to figure out how to make the cheese. There are plenty of places you can go to come up with the directions on how to make cheese, how to make corned beef, how to how to make jerky,
We cured chicken.
how to store chicken. But you also have to be able to read through the bull crap. For instance, when I was working on making corned beef, which can be stored up to a year, I had to keep it in a refrigerator at 40 degrees. And I said to the lady, I said, what are you talking about? And she said, well, you can't let it sit on the counter. It'll rot. That's why you corn it. And this was from a government agency. They have no idea what they're talking about. And don't believe that they do know what they're talking about. Because I've come up with some situations that just, you shake your head when you hear the explanation. So don't call up the local Ag and Markets department and request the directions on how to preserve chicken. Because without the refrigerator, these idiots have no idea what you're talking about. How to purify water.
Justin says, I love this. This man has many stories, and he put, it reminds me of my dad.
All right. Not
So
sure,
thank you, Justin.
not sure how he means this, but
No, he loves it. He's learning.
you have to sit down and
And
figure out.
Dana, thank you, Dana. Hi, Dana.
You have to sit down and figure out how to do these things. So if all of a sudden the power goes out, you find a chicken and you kill it and you pluck it, and you're not going to eat for dinner. How do you preserve it? Well, you preserve it in salt. Put it in a clean bucket with non-iodized salt or canning salt, kosher salt, and coat it in salt, and it'll be fine. Corned beef takes about 40 days to cure. And after that point, you wrap it up in some cheesecloth or something like that, put it in a clean pillowcase and hang it up, and it's good for a year. So there are alternatives to the freezer and the refrigerator. And if you don't have power, you've got to figure out something else.
Justin said he means that in the best way. And his dad was a Marine and was in Vietnam.
All right. Would they do kill and eat NVA? Did they roll them in salt? I mean, where are you going with this? What are you trying to tell me?
He is just letting you know that he's here to support you and that he's relating to your stories because you remind him of his dad. Mm-hmm. And he means that in the best way possible. Well, and same with Dana. Thank you for joining.
There's an awful lot of people out there that I can remember a conversation with one guy, and he was telling me that he saw a group of Vietnamese soldiers walking by, and they didn't see him, and they were eating things. As they go along, they'd pick something up and eat it. And he says, and here we are, we're eating out of tin cans. Yeah. That's one reason why we lost the war, because we don't know how to survive in the jungle. Let me give you an idea of some of the things they eat that most Americans are going to go, yeah. How about a snake? Snake are very good eating.
I mean, if I had to. What's the difference? A difference in what, Dana? Oh yeah, that's tough. He takes care of his dad. Justin takes care of his dad. So just a basic recap on today's episode. If you just want to kind of recap what you went over.
Well, there's a very good reason to become a survivalist is because things aren't going to be delivered to the stores anymore.
And they're already becoming less and less. Like we have less and less choices in the stores now than we used to.
How many cans of stew do you want to put in the basement? 50, 100, 500, 1,000? And how long is it going to last you? 1,000 cans of stew will last you 1,000 days. You know, it sounds like a lot until you start thinking about a dozen eggs. If you eat one egg a day, it's good for, you're going to be able to eat for 12 days. So you got to be able to go out and come up with the food items, and you'd be surprised what you can eat. Frogs, and you can eat turtles, you can eat snakes. One of the most sought after and consumed creatures on the planet are rats
Mm-hmm.
in Africa.
Yeah.
And, they eat rats every day. You're going to have to figure out what you can
Sounds good.
get your hands on and what you can't. So one thing I can tell you is you can't eat cats and dogs. You can, but it's not a good idea. And during World War II in England, there were restaurants that would serve dog. They were being told they were eating something else, and they weren't. Problem is tuberculosis all of a sudden exploded, and it was coming from the dogs. Here in this country, when medical science needs to get, I can't think of the name of the disease.
That you get from eating cats and dogs? Is it from
No.
eating cats and dogs or
It's from
humans?
woodchucks.
Oh, woodchucks.
They go in the wild and they get the where your eyes turn yellow.
Jaundice, liver disease, liver disease.
No,
You guys know what he's talking about? I don't know. I'm sorry. I know when you start to turn yellow, that's jaundice, which is your liver going bad.
well, that's what the woodchucks carry this. What you have to do is you have to make sure it's cooked very well.
Agent Orange?
Pardon?
Justin McKee said Agent Orange?
No.
No, not Agent Orange. My stepbrother
Um,
had Agent Orange. Was it Agent Orange, baby?
I don't know why I keep thinking of tuberculosis isn't. Drug addicts get it from passing dirty needles around.
Like AIDS or? Dana says orange.
Huh?
Justin and Dana both said orange.
Orange what?
Agent Orange.
No. We're not talking about Agent Orange. We're talking about
the disease that you get from dirty
needles and that kind of thing. And now I can't think of it. But anyways,
I'll have to look it up.
You have to think about certain things. You can't eat the livers from rabbits if they have spots on it. You can't make stew out of something like a cat, a dog, um, that kind of thing, where you know that the animals carry tuberculosis.
Justin said hepatitis.
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 That's where they get their hepatitis from, is from woodchucks.
Huh.
Woodchucks carry hepatitis, and you have to be very careful about cleaning them, skinning them, and cooking them.
Huh.
The best way to cook a woodchuck is to make it into a stew, because then it gets clean it gets purified very quickly. There's just all sorts of things that you have to go out and learn before you think about grabbing your rifle or shotgun and you're going to go shoot the neighbor's dog and eat it.
Right.
Because tuberculosis is carried by dogs, and the epidemic of tuberculosis.
Hold on just a second. Hey, Dana, if you want me to read your stuff, you have to put full sentences, okay? Because otherwise I'm waiting for you to put the rest of what you're trying to say. So, sorry, Harvey, go ahead.
If the instances of tuberculosis jump by 500% in England and during World War II, because people were eating dogs and getting the tuberculosis from dogs. So you have, like I say, you have to reinvent the wheel every day, and you can't rely on modern technology, because modern technology abandoned all of the things that you did for 80, 90, 100,000 years that was safe to eat. And, it isn't anymore, because we've created problems with our technology, and our technology just does not have any forgiving aspects to it.
Dana says it's his birthday today.
To what?
Dana says it's his birthday today.
It's whose birthday?
It's Dana's birthday today.
Well, don't eat a dog.
Happy birthday, Dana.
Oh,
Happy birthday, Dana. That's the right thing to say. I'm glad that you decided to join us today. Happy birthday. Much love to you.
now you go out and you shoot the squirrel out in your garden, and you're going to eat it, and you're going to find out it tastes terrible. Why? Think about what a squirrel eats. Most squirrels will go out and eat any nut that they can get butternuts, that kind of thing, or trying to think of. Oh, they'll eat things like maple seeds. They eat things that have tannin in them. And let me tell you, it's the most bitter tasting thing you'll ever want to run across. Take a butternut and throw it in some water, and the butternuts will actually turn the water black. And if you taste it, it's like, it's horrible. And that's why the squirrels taste horrible. Because you have to take the squirrel, kill it, and then you have to soak it to soak as much of the tannin out of the meat as you can get. And then you can boil it and boil the rest of the tannin out, and you have to change the water.
How do you get the tannin out to begin with, though?
To boil
To boil it?
To boil it. And
I
you
knew
have-
somebody that used to hunt squirrels and they boiled it.
You boil it, you dump the water out, boil it, dump the water out. You do that 4 or 5 times. And it is something that you can tolerate.
I've had squirrel before. I haven't had snake or frog. Oh, I've had frog legs. I've not had turtle. I would have a hard time eating turtle. Of course, if my life depended on it, I could.
Well, turtle meat is a lot of hard work to get it out of the turtle. You got to cut the shell off.
Mm-mm.
Um,
That's sad.
it isn't it isn't something that in this day and age
I've never had squirrel.
too many people are going to want to do. I can tell you this: turtles are usually covered with, oh yeah,
I've tried squirrel.
Hmm?
Salmonella.
yeah, they do carry that. Oh, thing that sucks your blood,
Leeches.
leeches. I've seen turtles with as many as a dozen leeches on them,
Really?
and that's where the salmonella comes from.
Oh.
You can also give you can also get not just salmonella, but
Justin said that he's eaten. He's had rattlesnake, frog legs, and rabbit.
Yeah.
That he's eaten before. I've eaten. I've had squirrel, frog legs. I've had rabbit. He says the rattlesnake was pretty good.
yeah, snake is very good.
I tried shark once. I just couldn't. I couldn't even finish the bite. I mean, there was just something wrong in my system that says you're not supposed to be eating shark. So maybe that's because I'm a Pisces.
People have eaten shark for thousands of years.
They've hunted for rabbits and they've made rabbit stew.
How you going to eat the rabbit if you don't have a pot to make the stew in? Trying to think.
And then that's when you make your, you just get a flat base and then you make a mud pie and put the leaves and everything, or
that's not going to work.
no,
Not with
not with meat, rabbit meat.
not with a rabbit. What you have to do with the rabbit is you have to
Ugh,
quarter up the rabbit,
squishy.
and you got to make a means of suspending it over the fire, usually green maple sticks or whatever, like a little grate. It's got to be, good 1.5 or 2 feet over the fire, and you put the rabbit on it, and you have to flip it over once or twice a minute. And it takes a couple hours to cook a rabbit, but it comes out very well. Too much heat is going to burn it, and too little heat isn't going to really cook it.
Now, can you eat, like if I were just to go catch a fish, could I just eat it without cooking it?
You can.
Or do you think it would make me sick?
It depends on whether the fish came out of water that is not contaminated, because whatever in that fish, whatever in the water is going to be in the fish, and you're going to eat it.
Kind of like fishing at Watts Bar.
Basically, if you look at,
I can't do raw fish.
uh,
I can't do raw fish. I've never had sushi or raw fish. I've never tried it, but I mean, I have tried a couple things, but just the thought of eating raw fish especially after trying that shark, I couldn't even finish my first bite. I just thought in my mind, between my mind and digestion, I just thought this is not right. We're not supposed to be eating sharks, so I spit it out. Depends on the fish.
If you're going to look at the environment of today, absolutely, positively, do not think that nothing is not contaminated. Everything's contaminated. We've done a wonderful job in contaminating. If you went back into, I invent a time machine, and you go back in time 150 years. Now this is 2026, so you're going to go back to when? 1870s, and you came in contact with a person in 1870, they're dead. They're gone. You've contaminated them, and they have no means of surviving.
Huh.
When Columbus discovered the New World, everybody that Columbus came in contact with and his crew were dead in a year. In fact, 90% of the American Indians who came in contact not only with the Europeans, but with the Indians who'd been in contact with them, were all dead, 90%.
That's interesting.
Uh,
I've had
Yeah.
raw salmon
huh?
or raw. I've had raw tuna. Well, it was blackened tuna, so they just kind of sear the edges, and then that's it. And it was. I had it in. I had it at Del. I can't remember the name of it, but it was in San Diego, Del Mar, at this big fancy restaurant, and it was just it was the best tuna fish I've ever had, and they just that was it. What else are they saying here? It took a long time to get into eating sushi, but now it's one of their favorites. I suppose it might be an acquired taste. I'm a
What's that?
Pisces and I'm a fish person, so I don't think I'm supposed to be eating a bunch of fish.
What kind
That's
of
just
fish?
my superstition. He said it took him a while to get into eating the raw fish, like sushi and stuff, but it's one of his favorites now. And I can't do raw fish. And I said it must be acquired because I think because I'm a Pisces, I'm a water person, that I have a problem with eating raw fish. That's just a superstition of mine, though. So, okay, guys, we're gonna wrap it up here in about 5 minutes, and then we will come back next Tuesday at around the same time to do another live with Harvey. So you can catch
the
me on my other
meantime,
channels.
Think about, you have to reinvent the wheel and figure out what you're going to be able to eat in the neighborhood around you.
And I'm already having a hard time with that because I can't shop in the grocery stores, anymore. So I've been going to the butcher shops, which they're usually closed when I'm done working. So I've not had meat in like 3 weeks. And so I stopped the other day and got some stew meat, and I made a beef pie, and I ate the whole thing. It was so good. I was maybe iron deficient even from it, but that's why I started growing all my own vegetables, lettuce. I won't go to the store and buy lettuce or produce. It'll have to be my fruit. Now I get at the farmers markets. I just don't like shopping in any of the grocery stores anymore.
A rule of thumb for me is don't eat anything raw. Don't eat anything that is being handled by other people, like an assembly line. Stay away from foods that are not handled.
Like processed food,
Pardon?
like the processed type meat.
Well, I'm talking about after the canned goods are gone.
Oh, okay.
You just don't want to eat things that a lot of people have handled because they're going to pass on their problems. I don't eat raw vegetables. I don't eat raw fruit. When it comes to meat, if I eat meat, it's got to be cooked fairly well. You have to determine what you're going to eat and what you're not going to eat after you have cooked it or processed. I'm not going to eat anything
Yes.
that is.
No lettuce in the bag.
Hmm?
I was just reading what Justin put. He's getting ready to get up. He's got to go have breakfast. But thanks for joining us today, Justin. We really do appreciate it. And we'll come back next Tuesday around the same time, about 12:30. And share this with your friends and stuff. So maybe they have some tips and tools that they can add and learn stuff. Because Harvey, just real quick, go over your background,
I'm
on
an
how.
archaeologist, paleontologist, anthropologist, geologist. I've been a gunsmith for 50 years. I've hunted and fished
Oh,
all my life. I also had a farm and moved off of it to come down here. Well, I moved off of the farm, which was in upstate New York, and went to New Hampshire, and that was basically jumping out of the frying pan into the fire. And so I said, the hell with it, and I came down here. I am not,
and you've been down here for how long now?
I've been here 10 years.
10 years. So, yeah. So he's an expert survivalist. So he's done a lot of things. That's his background.
Well, people make the wrong impression of a survivalist, that you're going to be running around the woods eating bugs and plants and things, because if you are, you're dead. Oh, I'm going to go out and hunt for my dinner. Yeah, you and 100,000 other desperate people looking to feed themselves.
Okay.
Um,
Justin says he wants to hear about some guns next time.
all right.
You hit the nail on the head, Justin. This is your man. Because he's a gunsmith, right? Yes, he's a gunsmith. So you came to the right channel.
He's not going to like what I have to say, because what everybody is carrying around today is the last thing in the world I want to put my hands on for hunting or for self-protection.
Like for handguns and stuff. Is that what you're talking about?
No, I'm talking about rifles.
Oh, rifles. Okay. Okay. Well, I guess that'll be our topic next time. The real Boy Scout, he said.
Hmm?
He said the real Boy Scouts.
Well,
All right. Well, you got it, Justin. So you guys enjoy your breakfast. So we have just about an hour time here. So is there anything else you want to add in before we end our live?
no, at this point, I'll have to think about what they're going to want to hear about next time,
Okay.
that
Okay.
kind of thing.
All right, you guys. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. You have just experienced Harvey Tallman, the American survivalist. Be sure to join us next Tuesday at about 12:30, and we will go over different topics on survival. And I'm thinking it's probably going to have to do something with in the alignment of guns. So be sure to tune in. Invite other people that you know that need to hear facts and tips and tricks on how to survive the impending things that are happening with inside of our country. So you guys have a wonderful week, and reset your script. Tell a different story, live a different life. Goodbye, all. Thank you, Justin, for joining us. Definitely appreciate you. All right. Have a good time. Thank you. Bye. Say bye, Harvey.
See you later. Have a good day.
See you later, alligator.